Inspection, and not a stain anywhere. Do you understand? Welcome.
How would Grimes say? You're accepted here to this keep. The Saken Plains contract takes a particular sort to pull a ring out of a grave like that. Here's your pay. Wait, have you washed your hands?
Goodbye. The locksmith Pledgeshield Fennin, you say? Stole my key, had it copied, handed it to the enemy? We must confront her at once. Corey! Henry! Seize her! Pledgeshield Fennin's in the cells now. Go see if she'll talk. We've got to get to the bottom of this. Ought to have worn the damn thing around my neck, or station guards outside my quarters. Never thought it would come to that. What concerns me is whether anything else was stolen. It's not as if I've got an inventory of what's down there. Hardly fair to hold her accountable when my own key was stolen. Best to forgive and forget all around, I think. Yes, yes indeed. The duty's yours. I think she will tell us what she knows.
Artifact stolen from the vault.
Shield, brother.
I'll confess. I'm ready. I know I can never make amends for the deaths I've caused. But I will try. I stole the key and had it copied. I gave it to... He swore he worked for the Alfar army, that this could end the war. I knew they were stealing powerful things from that vault, but he said the Warsworn were refusing to use them in the war against the Fae, so we could keep getting paid to fight. A man named Elben Merok. I knew him from... That does not matter. He said he's a soldier in Tawili, though we always met pretty far south of the barracks, near the way into the marsh. Stealing the key was the hardest part. Every moment I was sure he would return and notice it missing. Once the original was returned and I had the copy, there was nothing to it. No one suspected quiet little Livia. Grian was a mentor. He was my champion, and I betrayed him. That's what the mages in Brigand Hall called themselves? I've never heard the word before. I knew Elben from a time before the Warsworn. When he first came to me, I wouldn't even speak to him. But he kept at it, telling lies, offering hope for an end to the war that has so troubled my heart. In the army, as I said, the only place I've ever seen him is with his friends, where Tawili joins Akatha.
Given this turn of events, you are to find this Merok character. Extract from him what you can. I have other work for Gwyn. Meet her in Rathir when you're done. First, I will have her tend to that vault. High time it was cleaned and catalogued. After that, these mages call themselves Farlungi, right? I'd like to see what kind of footprints that name leaves behind. Did you see the look on her face when we seized her? Hard to tell if it was more fear or relief. Or the army. Help with the war. My gods!
your help, please. My daughter Julia has been kidnapped by bandits. Those animals left me for dead and took her. I'm a tinker, for fate's sake. What kind of savages attack a tinker? Julia is the only family I have left. Will you help me? Whatever you do, stay away from that cursed place. With bandits to the west and Tuatha raiders to the north, the village already had its fair share of trouble. Now I hear tell of people vanishing in the night. Whatever's happening there, it can't be good. Worthless bunch of clods. They attacked the bandits head on and got themselves slaughtered. Crawled back here to lick their wounds. Her mother passed away when Julia was young. I've done my best, but sometimes I think she takes care of me more than I take care of her. I've been teaching her the tinker trade, but I'm not sure life on the road suits her. Most gnomes favor the bustling city life of Adessa. Not me. Oh, no, sir. Ever since I was a young boy, the open road beckoned. So I've walked the roads of Erethel, Dalantarth, and Detir for 40 years, selling my services to anyone who can pay. Lately, though, it seems the world is growing more dangerous. Worse than it's ever been. At least for as long as I can remember. The bandits here are fierce, led by one called Conovar. He attacked us in broad daylight when we were trying to leave this place. I've lived my whole life on these roads. I know full well that the price of travel is a bit of coin in the pocket of the local thugs. But these fiends took my daughter. I'll pay anything I have to get her back. Will you find her? Thank you. I heard Conovar tell his men to put her with the rest of the lot before selling them. For faith's sake, hurry! I hope you fare better than those Kandrian guard clowns. Most of them didn't last long enough to see the bandit camp. I want my daughter back. I'll pay you with all the gold I have. If it were me, I'd steer clear of Conovar himself at all costs. Good luck out there.
Yeah? What are you looking at? Wait, you look like a capable sort. I might have a job for someone capable. The people of Melaglir hide in their village, hoping the war will just pass them by. Fine for them, as long as they don't think too much about the people that can't hide under some lord's skirts. The old poltroon has forbidden the guard to deploy beyond Melaglir. He disobeyed orders to march this far. Most folk believe he's doing what's best for the town, but not me. I can't sit idly by and do nothing. He can take my head if he wants it. Not like I get to use it much anymore. I've been a member of the Kandrian Guard for several years. We used to patrol all of Kandrian, but now his lordship has mostly confined us to his keep and Melaglir. Not just a thief, but a slaver. Scum of the worst kind. They say he used to be in the Kandrian Guard, but got fed up and deserted. Took up robbing, and worse, slaving, gathering Kandrian's worst thieves and rogues under his command. Poor gnome. His daughter was kidnapped by Conovar's thieves. Whatever they have in store for her, it won't be pretty. We set out, against orders, mind you, from Melaglir, to put down this nasty brigand named Conovar. Found him, and his followers too, but there were more of them than we expected. The few of my unit left alive only barely escaped. If you could finish Conovar, I can pay you. Great. Head south to the Fiend's camp. It's huge, lousy with every rogue and thief in the region. Shouldn't be hard to locate. Report to me when Conovar's dead, and I'll see that you're rewarded. May you deliver Conovar unto hell.
Tell me something. Are you in the habit of just walking into people's houses uninvited? Does that ever end poorly? I'd think most people would object to strangers rifling through their things. Of course, I am not most people. Come to think of it, it has been too long since I've enjoyed the conversation of strangers. Now that is the question, isn't it? I'm going to need time to figure that out. Which gives you plenty of time to get us some refreshments. Have you ever heard of the Realte Brocaire? It is a particularly rare vintage from the north. Why don't you travel to Lucky Mine and root around a bit? Find a bottle of the Realte Brocaire for us to share, and then we'll talk. Once, Candrian was a small kingdom whose borders included the land of Akatha. The lords of Candrian ruled from a great keep to the southeast. Now it is little more than a dilapidated fortress looming over a run-down village south of here. The war has bled it dry. You wish to know of me? I'm not that interesting, I promise. Not many choose to live upon the flooded plains of Akatha. Between the Tuatha and the Wild Fae, it is a place of little worth. Still, I like to call it home. I haven't tasted its sweet sorrow since I was a young warlord. Bring me a bottle and I'll tell you all about those long-forgotten days. Farewell.
Oh, thank you. Creepy town. People disappearing in the night. Father insisted that we leave right away. Father has been teaching me to be a tinker, but I can't seem to get the hang of it. I think I'd like to be a scholar. Whenever we stop in Edessa, Father has to practically drag me out of the librarium. He's the best tinkerer there is. Everywhere we go, people know him and line up to give him work. But Father never likes to stay in one place for long. I can always spot the faraway look he gets when he's ready to move on. It was awful. They were going to sell me to the Tuatha and send me to some place called the Keening. I've got to get back to Father. I don't know much, only that it's where the Tuatha were going to send us. I don't imagine it's a place I'd want to go. I'm returning to my father. You should talk to him too. I'm sure he'll reward you.
Move along. Conover's dead. I can't believe it. That'll show Lord Kendrian. If his lordship's had his way, we'd be wearing a rut around Meligleer shouting, "Hey, stop that over the pikes while this villain bled us to death." You've earned this. Spend it well. Until later, then.
Oh, Julia's back. You did it! I can't thank you enough, stranger. Of course, any amount is insufficient to express my thanks, but please take this gold in payment. We'll be on our way then. Travel safely.
Then returned the prophetess to her people, who, content with largesse, would stay in their wintry country. Tyrion spoke, as I know, her silken robes the fabric of Lyria's hand. Hail! The words of the goddess I herald unto her people. And have I heard from starlit lands in her woven grasp. Her way is east, that way which we must travel, for these frosty vales are not beautiful. Our cousins, we say unto you, be no more troubled by our plight. We will go to the opposite ends of Alfaria, and be Dokilfar content.
The Great Cycle brought powerful magic to Amalur. The arcane veil begat King Issa's reign, and all things in balance, also its destruction. The seasons passed, the summer wilted into autumn, and Lord Own culled his strength. King Issa's sway receded as does the shade at noon. The Feylands rested from their sprouting, and a haze of indolence silenced the woods. When the winter moon waned, it began. A terrible thunder rolled across the darkened plains of Erethel.
Now. What's this here? A little soldier come wandering down the coast? Sure, I'm a soldier. We all are, or were more like, until we found better use for a sword and shield. You'd better get word to Mad Hast in the customs house. Him and his will want to know. They always do. Dandra theory. What now? Soldier, freeman, what's in the name? It's all the same thing in the end. Like I said, if Warsworn got the key, they want to know. Want to snuff this meddler out before it goes much farther, eh? If Arlangi? Damned if I know. They have gold and want things done, that's enough for me. There were times before she joined the Blue Helms and got too good for my sort. We got by, me and her. Think I frightened her out of her wits when I turned up again all these years later? Yes, to the customs house in Rothia. Don't look at me. I don't know the password. They always come to me.
You look like you've been in some tight spots. There's a bounty out on a damned set of deserters. What do you say? Look at it. Scarred and singed as a blacksmith's hand. That is what you get from war. You're sure there are Tuatha here in Tuili? It has happened before. Maybe they'll meet some of my good-for-nothing runaways and give them a thrashing. I did 5 years in Cluricon. Then I got this post back here, seeing fresh recruits trained and off to war. Haven't you been? You can feel something in you begin to rot the moment you set foot over there. At least I did. A fact of life. There are cowards and lying rogues, and that's that. But when they up and run with things of value, that's another thing altogether. 5 full crew of fresh recruits had the gall to get fully equipped on our gold coin before they up and ran. The turntails, arms, and armor we can do without. But I'm afraid we also gave each crew a bottle of bog staunch. That's what I need recovered. Cure for a sickness that strikes some the moment they enter Cluricon. Devilish hard to make. We can't have fool deserters running off with any. So you do, so you do. Find me all 5 bottles, and you've got your bounty. Those fools have run off down the coast, I imagine, hiding here and there. There are things in the air in Cluricon. It doesn't strike everyone, but some get awfully sick their first days there. Bog staunch gets them through it, so we pack a jug with every crew we send over there.
Did you think the whole army was across the water in Cluricon? No, I'm afraid some of us are stuck here in Dol de Arn and Rathir. While it's true we Alpha lead, many humans proudly fill our ranks. All mortals unite against the damned Tuatha Fae. No one's quite sure why Sully rebelled against us. A lot of the soldiers are feeling fatigued, though, after fighting for so long. That's why most join with freemen. I know they're as cooped up there as we are here, but someday that siege will lift. I want to be there when it does. The Freemen are a rogue group of our own soldiers who have grown disenfranchised by the war and decided it's easier to cause trouble at home than to keep the Tuatha at bay. Used to belong to House Arn, but that soft sot that inherited wanted nothing to do with it. His loss, the army's gain.
What am I going to do? I've got to be going, but I can't. And I can't go back to Doveyan, but I must. Honestly, I feel like a hare hunted by hawks out here. It was my home. That was before I deeded it to the Alfar army and went to Rathir with my pocket full of gold. It went 10 years untouched by the Tuatha foe. That's common knowledge. 10 years stuck in a cold stone prison was how I saw it. Nothing like it anywhere in Amalur, I promise you. Beauty, elegance, wisdom. There's no putting it to words, really. I am the rightful heir to Doveyan. Or I was, at any rate. I've spent the last few years in lovely old Rathir, pretending like a fool nothing would change. The war, my friend. The war. I've been called. The truth is, I should have been gone days ago. Only I'd be far more eager for the adventure if I had my family arms with me. They're in there, Doveyan. Ancestral staff and talisman. What any self-respecting Arn's worn to battle since time immemorial. If I hadn't left them somewhere in that damned tower, I'd be wearing them now. I'm not supposed to be here. I ought to have shipped out days ago. That's what I've been trying to say. I need, well, want to get my family arms and slip off before anyone knows I was here. Only how? You're serious, aren't you? Well, with any luck, the old staff and talisman are still in one piece back there, though I have my doubts. I'd pay just to know if they are or not. Thing is, Doveyan's an official army post now. To get in, you'll need an officer's pass. By tradition, an Arn bears staff and talisman to battle. My brother bore them in Oriator's stand and died of his wounds 3 days after. Only I left them in Doveyan when I gave it to the army. Goodness only knows where they are, or what shape they're in now. Arn family history's riddled with this cursed war. My father and brothers have done so much for the cause, I shouldn't have to lift a finger. Hurry if you can. They might find me any moment.
For 500 summers, autumns, winters, and springs, the blossoms on my pearl tree bloomed ceaselessly and wantonly and fair. Why today have they fallen like tears? A dark doubt whispers, these flowers will not come again.
You're a welcome sight. A minute more and I'd be joining our friends on the hill here. Thanks for the assistance. I just figured everyone out here in the Forsaken Plain was either a refugee or one of the freemen. Looks like I was wrong. Not all of us are from the village of Culm. We come from all along the Tuili coast. Farmers and merchants, veterans and scholars. The Tuatha have put our possessions to the flame, but we will never accept defeat. Not so long as leaders like Lord Crass and Elrod Edmund act as our standard bearers. I'm a refugee, like the others in the tents. It's a desperate place. People will do anything to see the next morning. Steal, kill, you name it. You've got to watch your step in the Forsaken Plain. For every cave holds a bandit. Every refugee might be a cheat out to swindle us all. The freemen are especially fierce, for they're fighting not for the take, but for their very survival. Not so different than you or I, they are. I don't mind it as much as most, but I was raised in Detir, so I can handle the heat. Can't stand the bandits, though. It's impossible to get a decent night's sleep. Actually, I'm a bit ashamed to say. I'm searching for a grave, but not just any grave. The last resting place of Azo Raymond, richest of the Tuili merchants. They say he died early in the march west, claimed by the Forsaken Plain. Rumor has it he's buried with the famous rings of Azo. I could live a year on those. I'm glad to hear it. There's plenty of ground to cover between here and Rathir to the north, and another pair of eyes will be a huge advantage. Most of the graves are along the refugee route, usually surrounded by crude markings or gestures left by loved ones. It's a pity they couldn't do more. I heard Azo profited greatly from the war in the east, but that he was forced from his home when the Tuatha plundered Erethel. He moved west with the refugees. But the Forsaken Plain is no place for fat, wealthy merchants. They say he died quickly, with not a soul to mourn him. Bye.
I knew someone would come. They all said we were as good as dead, but I held out hope. I don't know why. Never had any reason to hope before. So what's your story? Grave robber, treasure hunter, or like us, a refugee in search of shelter? We probably could have sought refuge in Rathir, but there is no way that Dokkalfar would have allowed us to stay. But if we don't belong there, where do we belong? I don't know much about Oriator, but what they taught in the village schoolhouse, before it was burned down. He was a war hero. Gallifore Fields, I'd gather. He is my beloved. Yes, there is a difference in our ages, but I believe that Omer's experiences have given him a lust for life, one to rival a man with half his years. Omer Vogard was Kuln's primary hunter, but it wasn't long after the Tuatha attack that his hands gave out. Now he can't even hold a bow without shaking. I took over his job, and his heart. I tend to stalk my prey as opposed to shoot it. Something about looking it in the eye before it dies. There's respect in that. She's from the camp on the hill leading into a mare. She's a liar and a thief. Twice I've caught her sneaking into our tents to steal food. Worse than a boggart. The name fits. We didn't have an easy life when we farmed the fields below Kuln, but it was nothing like this. If the bandits don't get you, the starvation will. You did? Well, here I was about to start complaining about them. We've been trapped down here for days, unable to get past those blades, and you simply walk in and disable them, just like that. I'm impressed. I'll say thanks, but the person you're really going to want to talk to is Oma. He'd move mountains to find me. Come along now. The others are waiting back at camp. Bye.
At last!
I knew I could count on you to bring her back. I could see it in your eyes. A spark of recognition. You have a love too. Or did at one point, you know. There is no thanks worthy of this deed. But you were entitled to something. I was a hunter once. Those days are finished. Yours, it seems, are just beginning. Goodbye.
Oh, it's you.